Ethan, I have something to say.
Yes?
I was the agent in Croatia and I failed and protected your wife. I'm sorry.
How do you know she's dead?
Wait, she's alive?
I faked her death. So, you didn't fail her. You only thought you did. Sorry for not telling you earlier.
Oh.
Okay, see you on the next mission.
Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Time to go and find the syndicate. Hello ladies and gentlemen, Nick here and welcome to my review of Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, the fourth Mission Impossible film. And there is an even better picture on the back here. Actually, I think that front one's better. Anyway, so Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. Now, this film has a few connections to the third one, which we'll get back to in some cases. But the plot of the film is an agent has been killed in Hungary trying to attain a file on Russian nuclear weapon codes. So his two teammates, one of them being Benji from the previous film, have to rescue Ethan Hunt out of a Russian prison, which he he got himself in there to save another Russian guy. So after doing that, Ethan joins Benji and the other agent, Jane, to track these nuclear codes down. However, in a mission into the Kremlin, it is blown up and the team are framed, and the Russian agents come after them. So the president initiates Ghost Protocol and the secretary informs Ethan Hunt that they've been shut down, but gives them some clues in a way to help them complete a mission to stop them. However, their secretary is then killed, presumably by the Russian agents. So how did the Russian agents know they were there? Maybe these guys were done. It was done on the villain's orders. Make the tensions the president mentioned even higher. However, Ethan escapes along with analyst William Brand, played by Jeremy Renner from Avengers, and they join Benji and Jane, and they go off to Dubai to try and get the codes from the assassin who killed the other agent, and try and give some fake ones to the other guys, or more or less fakey genuine ones. But the villains get their hands on the genuine codes, so the gang have to travel to India to find and stop them from blowing up San Francisco, and the Russians are chasing them all over the place as well, popping up now and again. Eventually the Russians find that Ethan had stopped them, aborted an attack on San Francisco, and realise, oh, you weren't the enemy after all, sorry. And soon, shortly after that, IMF is reinstated. So that's basically the plot about that. And also, Brandit is revealed to be an active agent who was supposed to be looking after Ethan and Julia on a honeymoon in Croatia, but Julia was supposedly killed. However, Ethan confirms that he had faked her death so that she would not be in danger anymore. And now she's off on her, not on her own, but she's safe now while Ethan continues to be an agent, and we get to see a nice scene at the end between the two of them. As well as also a cameo from Julia, we also see a cameo from Blooper, who doesn't take part in the main events of the film, but we get a nice little scene with him at the end. So that's nice. Shame he wasn't in the actual film, but at least we got to see him. But like Julia, both of them get uncredited for some reason. Especially as considering Julia's friends were credited. Anyway, Ghost Protocol. Now, this one has a really great story. The last couple ones had some great stories, but this one feels really great. I don't know whether it feels as Mission Impossible as the first one, but it's definitely a really great story, and it does some really great stuff. I think Brad Bird gets the Mission Impossible formula just right. I think it manages to get it just right. Quite a good number of action and explosive moments and spy thrillery stuff. So, I think he manages to get the formula right. I think J.J. Abrams managed to get it right as well, but I think Brad Bird gets it slightly more, and I think Christopher McQuarrie would get it more so for the next two. But this is definitely a really good work, and there's some really great visuals in there with the visual effects, like going up the Dubai building. Unless that was they actually did do that, in which case that was serious work. Must be applauded. The acting is also great. Tom Cruise does an amazing job as Ethan Hunt for the 4th time round, and William Brandit as Jeremy Renner as Brand also does a great job. And Simon Pegg is he was good in the previous film, but he does an even better job here as Benji. He's become the fun character you'd love to look forward to seeing on screen each time. And the actress who does Jane also does a really good job. Would have liked to have seen a bit more of her in the future films, but oh well. And that's as far as I can go for main characters. I can't remember everybody else. I think the villains aren't as great as in the previous 3 films. I think we have got the weakest villains and the weakest villain plan. But that being said, the whole IMF being framed for the attack on the Kremlin does make a lot of sense and is done really well. And other villains aren't that great. I mean, Lea Seydoux is a good assassin. It does a good job as an assassin, but doesn't ultimately do that much. Not really. Apart from being part of Jane's story arc about how she wants revenge for her colleague's death. One that they may have had a romantic relationship with. Possibly. And there's also this Indian guy who owns an art collection. I don't know if he's really a villain, but he's alright. And this other guy who the main villain pretends to be and then we see him later on as well, I think. There's also this guy who's forced into these villainous plans to confirm the codes are true. He gets a small bit to do. He's alright. So, yeah. And Tom Wilkinson is the secretary of the IMF for this instalment. Again, he also gets uncredited. Okay, so that's about it from Ghost Protocol. I thought it was a really great instalment this time around. I think it's been a big improvement from the previous two, and I think it's probably the best one so far in terms of a story, and just looks so great, and I think the acting's at its best from this one. So, I'm going to give Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol a 9 out of 10. I don't think it's 100% perfect, but I do think it's a really great installment to this franchise, and I think they've managed to get a great vibe throughout. I think it's just really great. So that's it from Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, but that means next time I'll be watching my least favourite Mission Impossible film. Not necessarily the worst, but my least favourite, and that is Mission Impossible Rogue Nation. And the only reason it's my least favourite is because of that CIA subplot. But because of that CIA subplot being so ingrained into that film, I can't help but not enjoy it as much. But we'll see how everything else holds up, and it's also because everything else is a little bit better, is why objectively it's better, but because of my opinions on the CIA subplot. Subjectively, it's my least favourite. At least that time recording. It might change next time round, but still. But anyway, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official Nicholas Payne Retro YouTube channel. But there's... Excuse me. Wait. What? But, no. After all, I faked her death. I faked her death.